Some friends of mine and we all kind of dared each other one summer to run the Peachtree Road Race, which is a 10K down in Atlanta, Georgia. But I quickly realized, I was in the construction industry, I was a smoker, I didn't eat like I should, and I could really tell it once I started running because I started feeling better. Not only did I say I wanted to eat better, but I realized that if I did eat better, it made that run even easier. So it's kind of a compounding thing. But I caught a glimpse of something that I enjoyed, and that was the sport of running. And that's a great thing until it becomes too much. I was spending more time running than I was spending time with my wife, my kids. I had just done my first Ironman, and I was signed up for my second one. My oldest son had just completed his first triathlon. So everything we were talking about was running. A gentleman who is a good friend of mine has been a runner all of his life. He said, "Mitch, don't let this become your God." I was offended in the moment by what he said. And so after praying about it, I decided that I was going to go get 12 t-shirts made. And I wrote the phrase, "Run for God." I went down to my local print shop and I gave them this funny looking stick guy, and I said, "I need 12 t-shirts printed." I started wearing these shirts every single day. And it didn't take very long before people in my church started asking about these goofy looking t-shirts, saying things like, "You really need to start teaching some kind of running class at our church." And my answer was always very simple. It was, no. I'm a builder in Dalton, Georgia. I've never taught anything in my life, so no. So I made some posters, and I used the same funny looking stick guy, and I put "Run for God, the 5K challenge coming this January." I had 14 people registered to take this 5K challenge. And I looked out at the class and I said, "Why are you here?" Because I was genuinely curious why these people were here. These were people of all different backgrounds, all different shapes, sizes, ages. And I heard a husband and wife talk about they were on the hamster wheel of life. They were overweight, and they would come home from work and sit down on the couch and watch TV and go to bed and get up the next morning and do the same thing. I heard a gentleman talk about how he's chronically overweight and he wants to be here for his grandkids. And I started hearing all these stories that just made me realize this was the right move. I'm here to give these people hope through what Christ can do in their life. We began to meet week after week, and I was writing this curriculum as we went. A friend of mine who's not even a runner, he said, "Mitchell, you need to think about publishing this." And I remember laughing out loud. I wouldn't even know where to start. No, I don't have time to do this full time. I don't have the credentials. I'm not that great of a runner. I don't know the Bible as well as I should. All the excuses that we typically make, I was given. Who am I? I'm just a builder from Dalton, Georgia. This can't be me. The next morning I said, well, I'm just going to pick up the phone. There was only one Christian publisher that I knew of at the time, so I picked up the phone and I called their 800 number. Long story short, in an hour and a half on the phone, we had a book deal. I was not even done writing the program yet. I had a lot of work ahead of me. And I remember looking at that race. We graduated at a race where Run for God participants made up over half the race. And I remember looking out thinking, this can never get any bigger than this. This is huge. And that was 16 churches in July of 2010. And today as I sit here, the 5K Challenge has been taught in just over 4,500 communities around the world. I love watching the transformation that takes place in other people. That is what really drives me now. I always kind of make the comment, we take the number 1 and the number 2 New Year's resolutions and we put them together. I want to get healthier and I want to get closer to Christ. So our program, what's very appealing about it is not only those two things. We teach you how to enter the sport safely. We teach you about the tools that you need. Most people don't know that your shoes are the most important piece of equipment you have as a runner. But it's also the accountability. Surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded, who have the same goals. And that's what Run for God is. I'll never forget, we were invited to the premiere, which was on Super Bowl weekend in downtown Atlanta, just outside the Super Bowl. Urban Meyer was there, Tim Tebow and his fiance, Robbie Tebow. Dabo Sweeney was there. You know, all these giants of not only sports, but of the faith. And that was one of those moments where I looked at my wife and I'm like, what in the world are we doing here? And there again, it's just a testament to where we tend to put God in a box. You know, that's why I'm convinced that he chose a builder from Dalton, Georgia, who didn't know the Bible as well as he should. I still don't. I'm working on that. Who wasn't that great of a runner, because he knew that I could never take credit for what has happened. It is all God.
If this story inspired you, take the steps to change your life. The first step is always to say, Jesus, help me. Come On, Let's Go distributes hundreds of similar stories of lives changed by Jesus Christ. If you want to be part of this vision, go.